coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me. I'm gonna knock you out. Get from in front of me, cause I'm coming in with the battalion behind me.
The following is a live presentation of TPC Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TPC Football League. Here we have a good matchup. San Francisco 49ers visiting the Seattle Seahawks. I am going to be trying out the play-by-hear here, and I am with my good friend Langell. Are you ready for this matchup, and what's going to be your prediction on this one?
Irish Bear, I am totally pumped for this. Week 17 doesn't get bigger than this. In the match earlier this season, the Seahawks ran away with it. It's going to be interesting to see what changes San Francisco brings to the field in order to try to prevent that from happening today.
That is a good assumption. Right now, we see the snap coming from Wilson out of the shotgun, hands it off, a nice little sweep draw out to the left side, gets 8 yards. Good solid pickup on the first run.
Yeah, great show so far by Seattle on their first play alone, picking up 8 yards on the ground. Seattle notoriously known for airing it out, so it'll be interesting to see what the balance is in this game.
All right, Seattle's showing that mixed little pistol formation with the 3 receivers, 2 to the left. He's rolling out, and he decides to run for it, gets the first down, takes the slide to the 43-yard line.
Great play there by Wilson. If you give him even an inch to run, he'll take a mile, and just proved it right there.
Wilson up on the center with Penny in the backfield in the the single back formation. 2 tight ends out to the right, 1 receiver to the right. Wilson stepping back, looking to throw a man wide open to the center of the field. The Dickinson, the tight end, at the 20, down to the 15, the 10, the 5, and he is going to score a touchdown on his first initial pass.
Unbelievable. Seattle just coming in here and crushing the San Francisco defense on the opening drive, showing dominance at home, taking a little more than a minute, 1 minute and 5 seconds, and they're already on the board.
San Francisco looking like they kind of pulled a little all-out blitz there, and it backfired, and that is what that Seattle offense is going to do. It showed a run all day, but they kind of mixed it up and threw a nice little pass there.
Yeah, it's you're watching this happen, and Seattle obviously read the defense. San Francisco played one wrong play, and all of a sudden Seattle's in the end zone. So they're going to have to really tighten up this defense incredibly quick, or they're going to fall behind even worse than they have so far, and it's only in the first quarter.
That's very true, and I would just got to think if that maybe was the game plan that San Francisco was going to use, but we're going to find out here now. If San Francisco can answer back with Garoppolo in the single eye formation, rolls out after the play action, throws to the middle of the field. The ball is tipped in the air, and it is intercepted by McDougald, and he brings it back about 2 yards to the 45. That is not what San Francisco needed.
Not at all, Irish Bear, not at all. That was a dangerous throw, and then the EA physics made it even worse by going straight up and straight back down into the hands of a defenseman. And now Seattle has a chance to bring this right back in again and take a commanding 14-0 lead less than 2 minutes into the game.
That's right. Then we have Wilson coming out of the I formation. 2 receivers, throws on the run to Lockett, and Lockett is going to run this into the end zone for the second score. 1 play, 1 score off the turnover.
Unbelievable. This is the lethal threat, the offense of the Seattle offense. We're going into the playoffs starting next week, and I hope anyone in the NFC is watching, because this is what you're going to be up against. The Seattle Seahawks, 14-0, less than 2 minutes into the first quarter.
Now, coming in new to the league for me, I saw that Seattle did win it all in Season 5, missed it last year, so he may be, making a point here that he is going to come back for that championship here in Season 7.
Yeah, it's got to be on his mind that he wants to prove that Season 5 was not a fluke. Not that it was, because it definitely wasn't. But, once you've won a championship, you want to keep winning championships. And when you don't make it in your follow-up year, the game plan from game 1, day 1, is to make it back and reclaim that championship.
All right, so here we are, only 1 minute and 30 seconds into the first quarter. Seattle showing their dominance through the air, already up 14-0. Garoppolo sending his offense out onto the field in the I formation. Good to see if he can shake that interception. He does the handoff to the right. It gets roughly about 3 yards, so it's going to be a 2nd and 7.
2nd and 7. Coleman made it out from the lateral, but couldn't turn the Jets on to go forward, only gaining 3. But, that's better than an interception on their last play. So any positive movement I'm going to take as a positive right now. There we go.
Garoppolo with a nice quick, held in the pocket, as you can see there, did a nice little quick slant. Looks like he's not being as aggressive with the rollouts, and I don't blame him after that first pass interception.
No, definitely not. 3rd and inches now from the 33-yard line.
Garoppolo with the handoff to Coleman. He's going to get stopped on a 3rd and inches. Great penetration by that defense.
Absolutely smothering defense. San Francisco in a world of trouble right now.
Not what San Francisco needed at all, and now they're going to punt on a 4th and 1 with only about 3 minutes left. An angled punt towards the sideline, and we're going to see we're going to get a return, and we do not. He steps out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
At the 14, Seattle takes over, already up 14-0. Irish Bear, if they score on this drive, I don't know what San Francisco does to try to come back at that point.
It's going to be interesting. I'm going to see, if I was Seattle, you got the ball, you can march up and down the field. I would just run it as they do here. A nice spin move to get away from the first tackle, just to lose 1 yard.
Only losing 1 is a benefit in a play like that. So many times you get swallowed up behind the line and you end up losing 3, 4, 5 yards. So 1 isn't a bad thing. They can easily come back from it. As we've seen, Seattle is great on 3rd down for firing it for 20, 30 yards at a time. I don't think they're sweating at all over this right now.
And here he comes with the tight end set. 2 receivers out on each side of him. Sends a man in motion. Across the field and gets the pitch out to the right side. He did have 1 blocker in front of him, didn't wait. User misses, 1 man to beat. The other one comes up, and he's going to go. He is now at the 40. 1 man chasing him, 2 on the inside. This is going to be a foot race to the finish, and he's going to get in for a 3rd touchdown in the first quarter.
Unbelievable, Irish Bear. Unbelievable. This Seattle offense is out to prove a point today. That's 3 touchdowns, and we're not even out of the first quarter yet.
Like I see, a lot of missed opportunity tackles by the user. So that is, I wonder how much that actually played into that, because 2 guys could have easily got him, but he did take hand of the user and kind of just missed the opportunity to tackle him.
Indeed. Now we're looking at San Francisco making another run out, making a couple great plays there, but taken down at the 27-yard line. I have a tendency of saying that a team that's behind needs to get on their horse and ride. At this point, San Francisco doesn't need to get on the horse. They need to get on the bus. They need to get out of here quick and get down into that end zone.
That is correct. So right now, here it is. San Francisco coming back. 2 in the back, and he hands with the runoff and 26 just missed a block and let the tight end the linebacker come right out and only for a pickup of 2.
Yeah, McKinnon picks up 2 on that play. San Francisco, they need more than that. They need to break out. They need to hit that end zone on this drive if they're going to have any chance at all in this game.
A nice play action. It hits Pettis coming across the field on just the crossing pattern, only for a pickup of 4.
4 now, 3rd and 2. Again, 3rd down has not been friendly to San Francisco so far this game, so it'll be interesting to see what they have dialed up in order to try to make it this time.
And Garoppolo looks like he was going to run for it, decided to pull back and try to throw, but that linebacker came up the middle and got him. Now a 4th and 4. San Francisco again looking to punt to Seattle, giving the ball back to them for a 4th time, and a botched punt up the side of his foot to the 48. Not what they need.
Not at all. That's basically putting Seattle at midfield to start the drive. We've seen what they can do from the 20 and the 25, starting from the 50. Wow.
And here we go. Seattle now deciding what they're going to do, if they want to stick with their aggressive game plan or they're just going to maybe eat some clock by running the ball. We don't know. But I can tell you right now, either way they're going to go, they might score because they're just dominating right now. And as you can see, the handoff in the I formation gets them roughly about 8 to 9 yards. And now going to be a 2nd and 1.
2nd and 1. Penny with over 100 yards here in the first quarter alone. On pace right now for an absolute record-breaking game. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not Seattle just tries to, kill some clock, or whether or not they're going to go for the jugular and keep driving like this the entire game. Because right now, San Francisco has no answer for their defense.
And you can see they're using the double tight end formation, which puts San Francisco on edge because you don't know if he's going to run it with the dangerous back in there, or he's going to do what he did right there, just throw a nice little crossing pattern to one of his tight ends coming across the field.
Yeah, Seattle is like a magician right now. They're bringing out things to distract. Don't look over here, look over here, and by the time you realize it, it's way too late and they're down the field.
That is true, and I'll tell you right now, it is extremely hard to call this game right now because Seattle is just firing in all cylinders, and they're just moving the pace. But here, they opt to run a play, and they're just going to run out the first quarter. So here, at the end of the first quarter, it is Seattle all over the Niners, 21-0, with the ball and marching down the field.
Yeah, an absolute showcase of offense on the part of Seattle, and actually their defense has been a showcase as well. San Francisco hasn't got a first down yet.
That's right, and then we got Wilson here with the delayed handoff to the left side. Penny shakes off a tackle, and he's going to score again for the 2nd time on the ground from outside the red zone.
Unbelievable. Now, pending the extra point, it'll be 28-0. 7 seconds into the second quarter. I have never seen an offensive burst or breakout like this before, Ashbear. This is record-setting in TPCFL history.
Now, I am not trying to defend the 49ers in any way at all, but I just kind of wonder if San Francisco is not maybe playing so aggressive and, possibly trying to get somebody hurt due to the fact that they are guaranteed a wild spot in the playoffs that are coming up.
That is potential. That does make sense. Although I think that they need to change their game plan a little. I mean, 28-0 on the road. That's a huge deficit to try to come back from. Oh, wait.
And it's not going to be a moral victory either. It's going to be devastating to get blown out in your last game, whether you're really trying or not, because you do not want to go into the playoffs getting blown out in week 17.
No.
Right, here we go.
Definitely not.
First and 10 on the 30-yard line, handoff to the right side, and he's going to get stopped in the backfield to the 27-yard line, bringing up a 2nd and 12.
2nd and 12, again behind the line. It's they need to do something. They need to change the game plan because what they're using right now, unfortunately, is not working for them. Seattle has only given up 3 yards rushing to this 49ers team, and the 49ers are a strong run team. They're 2nd in the league overall, and today they're being made to look like they're in last place as far as running goes.
That is very true. So here we are in the second quarter, clock running down. It looks like they are going to be forced to call timeout unless they can get the snap. Play clock running down to 5 seconds. We're going to see if he's going to get it off here. A 2nd and 12, down to 2 seconds. And that is going to be a penalty on San Francisco, delay of game.
Nothing going right for the 49ers right now. Nothing at all. Going into this game there, Irish Bear, the Seahawks are 6-1 at home. They only lost once at home this season, and I don't think any of the games were as explosive as this one. So unless something drastically... Oh! And Seattle picks up the ball on the 12-yard line. Everything is going wrong for San Francisco right now. Absolutely everything.
I did not want to cut you off there, but that ball was on the ground for a long time. It's almost like the San Francisco team is not even out here to play. Ball on the ground, and you only see those 2 San Francisco players around the ball while you see at least 3 to 4 Seattle players charging that ball. This is very, very embarrassing for this 49ers team. This
is not the way the Commando Slippy figured the end of his regular season would go. There's no way that this is described as anything other than a nightmare right now.
That's right. Wilson out of the shotgun, sends his running back out into the slot receiver position and gets Dickinson up to a pass, only going to gain about a maybe yard or 2, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 9.
Wilson 4 for 4 for 111 yards so far. There are teams in this league, Irish Bear, that would love to hit 100 yards in the entire game, and he's done it in 4 passes, and we're only 2 minutes into the second quarter.
And here we go, Seattle with that jumbo set, 2 tight ends to the left side of the line of scrimmage in the I formation. This has been a deadly scenario for Seattle, and he's going to end up to run it. Can he get past it? He cannot. He rolls down to the 1-yard line, brings up a 1st and goal.
Wilson now just toying with the San Francisco 49er defense, tries to run it in himself, gets it to the 1-yard line. I had questioned earlier whether Seattle may try to, dial it back a little bit and try to kill some clock. I don't think so. They are going for the jugular. They are going to do everything they can to absolutely demolish the 49ers in this game.
And it's going to be interesting to see how long San Francisco is going to hold this for. When it comes down to 3rd and 4th downs, it's almost like the rest of the game is going to be 4th down territory. But here we go, second quarter, 4 minutes. They're already up by 4 scores. 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. Seattle in the I formation, triple tight end set. And now he is just letting the clock roll down, trying to hurry this game up since he's in command here. And it looks like San Francisco running that goal line defense. It's just going to be a QB sneak for Wilson. 1 yard out.
And he's in there. That's the 5th touchdown of the game so far. Seattle up 30, will be up 35-0 here in the second quarter.
Great execution by Seattle on all sides of the football. Well, excuse me, not all sides of the football, just the offensive defense. We really haven't had a chance to see the special teams for Seattle yet. But hopefully we will not see the special teams for Seattle, because San Francisco should really consider start going for it on 4th downs just to try to get back into this game.
Yeah, they definitely should at this point. This is 4th down territory every single play at this point.
All right, so here we go. We got 3:44 left in the second quarter. Seattle up 35-0 over San Francisco, and it's going to be a deep kick, and we're going to see if he's going to bring this out.
Now, it's interesting to note, Commando Slippy, the owner of the 49ers, is in chat saying he's having difficulty selecting plays. I'm not sure what that means, because he's been selecting plays the entire time. I don't know what that means. I'm going to ask for clarification here in the chat.
Well, that could be a difficulty on many levels. That may explain why he had that delay of game. So what that could possibly mean for him is that he is not able to pick the plays that he wants in situations. He may be only forced to just get enough time to pick something that'll work out, and so he does not have his mindset on the play that was kind of initially picked for him instead of the ones that he wants. So that could play a big factor in this one, as we are here again coming to a delay of game, which just might have been intentional due to the fact that there are issues here in the game.
Commando Slippy in chat saying that he can't click anything He's only getting the A button, so he can only choose. That doesn't make any. That's strange. I don't understand. Okay, so he's picked the play here. Let's see what happens.
All right, and we got Garoppolo coming out of the single back formation. 3 receivers to his right, 1 in the slot. And play clock is now going down again, and this might be a third delay of the game. Now he does get it off. It is the handoff. Big hold that just collapsed, only picking up roughly 4 yards for a 2nd and 6.
2nd and 6, gains 4 on it. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with San Francisco. I don't know whether we should stop this game because I feel bad because Seattle's been putting on a clinic that. No, now he's able to select plays, so it seems like we're back in business.
All right, and that was a nice little run up to the right side here. And now we got Garoppolo coming in the shotgun, running back to his right with 3 tight ends on the field coming out of shotgun. Here it is, a 3rd and 1 with 2:50 left. The ball is snapped, and he hands it off, and he might be stopped again for the 2nd time. Oh, no, he made it for a 1st down on the 35-yard line.
Great play by San Francisco. Now in the chat, Commander Slippy saying he still can only hit A, which I guess would be 1 play, but he says he's going to continue to play on.
Garoppolo hand off to Coleman. Coleman getting stopped immediately by that very aggressive defensive line for a 2nd and 11. I really don't see that we should see a play before the 2-minute warning unless he's going to try to double out of it, and we're going to see if he can. And he does. He gets the snap off. Garoppolo scanning the field. Pocket. Beautiful pocket. And he's going to get the ball to a possible 1st down. If anything, it will be 3rd and inches. Here we got the 2-minute warning. Seattle 35, San Francisco nothing, with a 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line. And here is the 2-minute drill by the San Francisco 49ers. See if they can march down the field. High snap by Garoppolo. He does end up pulling it down. Coleman with the run up the middle, but unfortunately runs in to the defender waiting for him at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, gains 1 yard on that play. Again, I apologize, Archie, I'm trying to figure out what's going on within the game itself and then what's going on with their game. So I apologize. I'm a little distracted at the moment.
That is more than okay. Definitely got to make sure that the players are happy because we don't need anything, outside of that happening. But here we go. San Francisco out of the shotgun again. Beautiful packaging. And he gets stopped. He gets sacked as soon as I said great pocket. But unfortunately, he just held on to the ball a little too long. A 3rd and 16 coming up here. This is definitely 4-down territory. Clock is running away. Now they're sacked all the way back to the 39-yard line. Garoppolo in the shotgun. Pocket again, throws deep to the right-hand, left-hand side. Ball just got knocked right out of the hands. Great defensive play by the corner.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it was a great attempt by San Francisco trying to get out of there, but unfortunately, Seattle's defense swats it out of the air, and now it's 4th and 16. And at their own 39-yard line. Wow, another wayward kick.
Yeah, the punting has not been. He had that one good punt, the first punt, and the second one was off the side of his foot. And this looks like it is going to be another punt off the side of his foot. And now with 3 timeouts, 1 minute, 4 left, you see what Seattle did. I mean, Seattle could, the way they're playing, could march on the field and possibly score a field goal. But I feel like they're just going to try to run the ball, eat out the clock. And that's where it is. Wilson hands the ball off to Penny. Penny with a big hole just right into that second wave for a gain of 9.
Great play by Seattle, marching down the field. I mean, 9 yards on their first pickup and very little resistance from the San Francisco defense. And now I'm trying to figure out if there's an issue going on where this is just going to be one-sided the entire game because of potential internet connectivity issues. I see San Francisco making plays, so it's not that their players aren't responding. It's just that right now, Seattle is able to just move at will, it seems.
That's right. And it's not the first time there has been any kind of issues with connection or anything else like that. We did have a player with his controller. And just even a little bit of a controller delay could cause a big issue.
Yes, definitely.
if I'm not mistaken, I believe that was the Patriots and Houston game in
Yep.
the middle of the season.
Yep.
They had a controller issue, and it was about a half a second delay from the time he was pressing the button to throw to the receivers, and it made a big difference. But here it is now. We are 35-0 here at the beginning of the third quarter. San Francisco is going to get the ball back. We're going to see if they can kind of fix any technical difficulties they're having on their side for user-wise, or it's just going to be what it was in the first half, all Seattle. But then again, I mean, we really can't blame this all on technical difficulties, because Seattle has just been dominant on the offensive side, zigzagging through the defensive linebackers, holes in the secondary. So it could just be also, the play game or play calling is a little off. But here we go. It's the first and 10. Garoppolo coming out of the shotgun, running back to his left, opposite for the handoff. Does a nice little sweep. He has one guy to beat.
Oh, there we go.
Nice little player juke. He's got one other one. Gets it down to the 50 and spins ahead to the 49-yard line. Just what they needed.
Yeah, that's a great way to start off the second half right now. Seattle, has a hiccup in defense. San Francisco takes advantage of it and gains almost 40 yards on that play, so good on them.
Great sweep run by the 49ers, coming out of the jumbo set again. Does the play action. He's rolled out to his right, and he is going deep. And he ends up dropping the pass into triple coverage at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, that was a dangerous throw. As I'm watching it go through the air, and I'm watching Seattle circle in on where its impact is going to be. I'm like, this is going to be a bad idea. But luckily, somehow, San Francisco comes out of it with just falling to the ground as opposed to an interception. Coleman
Jimmy
now.
G with the handoff to Coleman, gets it down to the 30-yard line. Looks like San Francisco is finally waking up and just marching down the field. 2 great runs by Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman is on fire now. I mean, I don't know where this was the start of the game, but this is definitely where the 49ers need to be right now.
That's right. So here we go. San Francisco coming here with the empty backside, coming out of the shotgun. 4 wide receivers with the 1 tight end. Kittle gets the catch and brings it up to the 23-yard line.
Great play by San Francisco. 2nd and 3 now from the 23. They are marching down the field. Hopefully, I mean, they're almost in the red zone. Hopefully they can pull some points out of this drive.
And then it's definitely going to need it. I mean, I really don't see a victory comeback in the cards for San Francisco, but they need to get some points on the game, kind of for a moral victory going into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. And the way that the last game ended, that they want to put points on the board here. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, victory is probably like a pipe dream at this point, but stay strong, stay the course, and do the best that you can, because you're going into the playoffs next week.
So as we just saw, Garoppolo to a pass. Look, the one thing that I can say 49ers are coming away with a win on is that pocket. That pocket has been absolutely beautiful all day, minus the 1 sack. And that one, he could come on the victory. And Coleman just destroying Seattle's defense on this drive.
Yeah, whatever they had issues with going into this, they definitely solved it going into the second half. Whatever lag or connectivity or performance issues they had, they seem to have cleared it. Oh, that almost got intercepted.
And that was by the rush coming off the side there. Garoppolo getting hit as he throws. Makes a very, very dangerous pass where the corner, I think if that ball was on target, that ball might have been intercepted.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And all right, here we go. 2nd and goal on the 1-yard line in the third quarter. The initial drive, and here comes the pressure set down to the 3-yard line for a 3rd and goal.
Everything was going so great for San Francisco, and now on the 3-yard line. But I was going to say, when they were on the 1-yard line, it's the most dangerous yard in the entire field, and San Francisco's seeing that right now.
Here we go. We got 3rd and goal with the I formation. Fullback out to the right. Sends him into action. Looks like he's doing a play or making an audible right now. Only moves the fullback over. Here's the handoff. It's a play action. Sends it out to the fullback and drops the pass for a walk-in touchdown. Oh, that's
got to be heartbreaking. They had the ball and then lose it, and it looks like they are going for the fake field goal. I'm not sure. Nope, they're going for the field goal, and they hit it, breaking the goose egg. It's now 35-3 here in the third quarter.
That kicker's almost misses it, just squeezes inside that left pole there. And one thing that I can say is it was very shocking to see San Francisco try to throw that ball in there when they had Coleman, who marshaled, and this is going to be a penalty, bringing the ball up to the 40-yard line. But bringing it back to my point is you get the ball down to the 1-yard line on the back of your running back, Coleman, and then you get down to the 1-yard line and you try to throw it in 3 times. That right there is just mental mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. You have to go with what brought you there, and Coleman brought them all the way to the 1-yard line.
And here we go, Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks with a 35-3 lead. Hands it off to Penny, who has been marching all over the San Francisco secondary. Gets a nice solid pick up a 5 on first down.
5 yards normally is a great game, but in this game, it's like, well, what went wrong that drive sort of idea. But yeah, moving in the right direction now. 2nd and 5. The clock dropping. I mean, Seattle right now, all they need to do is just run this clock out for the 3rd and the 4th, and they're still in no danger of losing this game.
So I will be very surprised if I see Seattle throw the ball at least once on this drive due to the fact they're just trying to eat it. And right on cue, he actually does a play action. Dickinson wide open, cutting across the field from the tight end position, picks up a nice gain and gets them the first down up to the 36-yard line into San Francisco 49ers territory.
Yep, Dixon has been the receiver of the game of choice right now. 4 receptions, and Wilson is 5 for 5.
Wilson now in the single back formation, 2 tight ends on both sides, 2 receivers on both sides, and he's letting this clock run down as we come down to a minute 20. Gets the handoff to Penny. And Penny finally stopped with 9 rushes, 159 yards, and 2 DDs. He is having one heck of a game.
Indeed. He's got to be seen as one of the front runners for offensive player of the game. I mean, Wilson is up there as well. But right now, I mean, that's the first time I've seen Seattle actually run into any sort of complications in this game. So maybe San Francisco's turned their defense around and they can take advantage of this.
We shall see as Seattle here on the 36-yard line with running back to his left, 2 receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. He ends up getting the snap and hands it off to McKissick, who does have a big hole in that wide receiver, disengaged the block. Could have been a bigger gain.
Could have been, but still gaining 6 on that play. 3rd and 4 now from the 29.
So sad when we sit there and say that he could have had a bigger gain than 6 yards, as 6 yards is not good enough for him.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. There are teams in this league that rushing is not their thing, and, to say, too bad he didn't get more. Well, 6 is great, so I guess we should reevaluate how we're looking at this, but still, I mean, when you look at the opportunities that have been afforded to the Seahawks so far this game, 6 yards seems like a little bit of a low run.
Oh, he actually does end up snapping the ball left with only 3 seconds left. Receiver goes down. Wilson on the run. He has a blocker. Head cut to the inside. Kind of gets taken down roughly. And that is going to be the end of the 3rd. So here at the beginning of the 4th quarter, we are looking at San Francisco 3, Seattle 35. With Seattle marching down the field inside the red zone at the 18-yard line, coming out of the I formation, 1 receiver far to the left, 1 receiver far to the right, gives the handoff to Penny. Penny dominant today, finally gets stopped again for the 2nd time on this drive, loses a yard.
While I have a second here, Irish Bear, I'm just going to quickly talk about our social media and the fact that you can find us on both Twitter and Facebook at TPC Sports Live to find out when we're going live, what the games are, game results, and anything you need to know about TPC Sports. Give us a like on Facebook or Twitter at TPC Sports Live. And if you like us, why don't you give us a like?
All right, Wilson now likes the ball coming to a throw. Error pass. It almost intercepted. Very shocking to see them throwing here.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for them to be throwing right now. I mean, it's not like an interception is going to turn the tide of the game, but at the same time, I mean, just keep it on the ground, keep that clock moving. I'm surprised they're not in chew clock offense right now, to be honest with you.
Wilson rolling out to the left. Looks like he is going to run it. Get one past the defender. Misses him. Cuts back towards the middle. And this is going to be close. Gets it down to the 8-yard line. And what is it? It's going to be a 1st and goal on the 8-yard line. And I'm sitting here looking at this. Seattle, 38 points is the most points they've scored all season. Maybe he's trying to beat that. That could explain possibly why he is trying to get a touchdown again.
Yeah, that could be part of the inspiration behind it. But Wilson just making the San Francisco 49er defense look silly right now, as he's able to. Yeah,
on that play, it kind of looks like he was going to do a QB scramble from the start. He just gave no time. It was an instant rollout to the left, and he just decided to run for it. Defenders missing all over the place, but here we go again now in the single back, one fullback formation, letting the clock run down. Does give the handoff to Penny. Penny right up the middle, just runs right into the defender, picking up 2 yards.
Gain of 2 yards now. Mick gives him 160 for the game so far. And now 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. They are deep in the red hot zone, which I can't do as well as our broadcast partner Meter, but I'll show him tribute. I'll do my best.
All right, here we go. Wilson in the I formation. 2 tight ends out to the right. Lockett far out to the left on the 6-yard line. Running the play clock down as low as it is going to go. Trying to eat out this time. Here we go. Here is the pitch out to Penny, who's going to try to cut into the corner. It does not, and only picks up another gain of 2.
Only gains 2 on that. Gains about 15 yards laterally, but doesn't gain much horizontally. But vertically. But it's one of these things where anything is forward momentum, and as long as they're keeping that clock dropping and keeping the ball out of San Francisco's hands, I mean, it's their game right now. They can do whatever they want to control this game.
It is very true. And one thing San Francisco can look at about this drive right here, yes, they didn't march down the field on you, but as you can see, this goal line defense is really stepping it up, and they're kind of keeping them 2 yards at a time, which is just not going to score a touchdown for them. But we'll see what happens here on a 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line. Here's the handoff to Penny and gets stopped at the 4-yard line. No gain. So now the field goal unit is coming out for Seattle to attempt I want to say it looks like maybe a 20-some-odd yard field goal.
Oh, look at this. Seattle letting the clock drop before they hit this kick. Trying to drain even more time off the clock. If I was San Francisco, I'd be calling a timeout right now.
San Francisco they also might realize that the probability of a comeback coming on this is over, and they just might come out on their drive and maybe possibly run it just to eat out the clock and just kind of look at the very little positive notes that came from this game, and which we just saw there. San Francisco's defense at the end of that drive kind of holding their own and keeping them out of the end zone, only holding Seattle to a 3-point field goal. 3 points,
which means the 49ers scored 3. Seattle came back down, and they stopped them. So it's a moral victory for them right now, not to give up a touchdown.
Here comes the draw. Gets held by his own guard coming across, and just kind of gets pushed by him, and then gets tackled. It's just nothing has been going the way for San Francisco this game.
No, nothing at all. In fact, San Francisco has only managed 22 passing yards this game.
And here we go. Garoppolo with the pocket again, and Goodwin makes 2 guys miss, and ends up picking a good chunk of yards down to the 2-minute warning at the 46-yard line.
Well, that doubles their passing offense in one play. So now
I think for me, I think San Francisco needs to score some sort of points.
Oh, they do. They definitely do. They need to hit the end zone right now. Wide open.
Pocket. Yeah, stood in the pocket with the defensive blitz coming. Is he going to get there? And he gets it down to about the 6-yard line. Great presence by that receiver.
That was absolutely incredible. What a turnaround by San Francisco. If they could have been doing this earlier in the game, this could have been a totally different game there, Ashburn.
That is sure. Here we go on the 6-yard line. 1:52 clock stopped in the I formation. Hands it off to Coleman. Coleman brings it down to the 3-yard line. Just misses the end zone.
He was wide open there, and then for whatever reason moved over to the right and right into the defender. So here we are again inside the red zone, inside the red hot zone. And it's going to be interesting to see whether Seattle can stand tall and stop San Francisco from hitting pay dirt. And they don't. Ooh. San Francisco in there for a touchdown. That's what they needed.
I wonder if he was going to try to run it with Coleman. There's Seattle in that goal line defense. 9 guys in the box. And that was the option. If you don't know what that is where you have the option of throwing it or letting the handoff. So what it is the play in the huddle is going to be called for a run, but then if the quarterback sees something, the wide receiver either on the left or to the right, usually the outside, very, very little is it going to be in the slot position. If he sees something in that defensive front line, he can throw it real fast, and that is what we just saw for the touchdown.
And it worked beautifully. Good on San Francisco. Now, you mentioned earlier that Seattle's record for the season was 38 points. They have 1 minute and 28 seconds, although this kick's going to go out of bounds, and that's going to be a flag, which will put them at the 43-yard line. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they just try to kill the clock here or they try to score more points in an effort to break their season record. I mean, the game is already won. It's been decided. There's no way San Francisco's coming back. So, really, Seattle could take a couple knees and this game would be over. So, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what Seattle does here.
So, to make matters worse, their 38 points came in Week 10. And guess who their opponent was? 49ers.
49ers.
That is who they are today. And you can tell him just running around in the open field, just eating up the clock. So, it looks like he is not going to try to beat that, and I'm kind of surprised if he's really looking to eat the clock. How come he's just not kneeling the ball? Because I feel like any kind of fumble, I think he would be very disappointed in himself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the clock is dropping. Take a knee. I mean, take 2 knees and the game is over. So I'm not quite sure what is happening right now.
And it's still on the tempo, kind of maybe just letting it, kind of forcing his opponent really to let it sink in that you just got blown out again for the second time this season by me.
Yeah.
So
yes.
And that could be kind of a little game plan within himself to kind of intimidate his opponent here.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, there's a possibility that these two could meet again in wait. Now it looks like he's trying for the quarterback kneel. Is going to end this game. These two could meet again in the playoffs based on Seattle's ranking and San Francisco's ranking. Mind you, Seattle's going to get a bye in the first round. So if by chance San Francisco wins their first game matchup, they could end up playing Seattle again. And I think sparks are going to fly in that game.
Very, very much, and hopefully there won't be any technical difficulties. Now, I'm really surprised to see San Francisco calling this timeout. They let the clock run down almost 60 seconds off the play clock before he even decided to call a timeout from the initial kickoff.
Right.
So it's shocking to see that he finally called a timeout while the play clock was almost down. The play clock was down to about 50. I think it was 55 seconds. And they got the kneel, and then he calls a quick timeout again. So I don't know what his plan is here on.
Seattle looks like they're gonna go for it now.
That's
3rd and 10
here. You know, maybe now this just might seem like it's just player versus player. It's not even part of the game anymore. He says, "You're going to toy with me. I'm going to toy with you."
Yeah.
So San Francisco might be going. Seattle might be going for this first down here, just to kind of rub it in his face a little.
I think that's exactly what they're doing.
So here we go. Wilson in the single back formation does get the handoff to Penny, a wide open hole, brings it down to the 50. Smart move, cuts back towards the inside to get tackled to keep this play clock rolling. But it kind of looks like if he faded out more to the right, he would have had one guy to beat, which we've seen him do all day, and might have scored another touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. So now San Francisco not calling the timeout.
So that chess match might be over between the two, and they might just get back to playing some football here, because this game should be over by now if you think about it. I mean, just the use of the timeouts and the kneels. But here we go. Looks like he is going to end up kneeling the ball again with about 4 seconds left.
Yeah,
on the
exactly. Exactly. Let this drop as much as possible that San Francisco can't take the timeout. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they do. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they take the timeout. And they do not. So, ladies and gentlemen, make the final. The San Francisco 49ers 10, the Seattle Seahawks at home 38. What a game, Irish Bear. What a game. What an offensive display by Seattle.
Now Seattle coming out, being the top seed in the NFC, showing everyone around the league how deadly he is with his running back that just ran all over the field today. San Francisco, not what they needed. This was almost a must-win for San Francisco going into the playoffs as the wild card. But you can just see a lopsided game all the way down, but the passing yards weren't really necessarily needed for Seattle, as Penny was just running up and down this field. I think Penny may have not had the ball, maybe 2 handoffs all game.
Yeah, it was an absolute showcase by the Seahawks. San Francisco, technical difficulties aside, had no answers for the offense. And, yeah, like we saw there earlier, Penny had over 100 yards in the first quarter alone. So, I mean, he was on pace to have over 400 yards rushing. So, what a performance.
So 35 of their 38 points came in the first and the second quarter. As you can see, it's just Seattle was just all over the place. Coming out, surprisingly, both teams with 8 first downs total. And that is actually quite surprising with how well Seattle was moving up and down the field. And then time of possession, really almost the same, just a 3-minute difference. And really can't go off those penalties due to the fact that there were technical difficulties.
Right.
And Seattle didn't even need their special teams at all game, which just goes to shows how much they kind of just dominated this game from the start. And those 2 turnovers there. The first one I feel was just a mental mistake thrown into tight coverage, given the tip in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might have also played into a big factor coming in on that first pass of their possession.
Yeah, and Seattle scoring 21 points in the first quarter. I mean, it was an uphill battle for San Francisco no matter how you look at it after that. Mental mistakes were made, unfortunately, and it sounds like there were some technical difficulties as well. But, I mean, San Francisco needs to put this behind them. Commander Slippy needs to look forward to the playoffs and focus on that. Speaking of focusing on things, before we go here, I just want to quickly mention our Patreon and our sponsor. Our sponsor for this game is Darth Travis 74. We have a Patreon set up at patreon.com/TPC Sports Live. People donate to us to keep the lights on. It's all community supported, and we greatly appreciate all of our patrons. If you're interested, head on over to patreon.com/TPC Sports Live. We have a number of tiers and a number of rewards, including merch. So if you're interested, check that out. We greatly appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to thank you for watching this broadcast of the TPC Football League here as the San Francisco 49ers drop a big ball game here for them. Kind of moral victory to get into the playoffs. A 38-10 victory. Seattle dominated on offense and defense. And it has been a privilege to be in the booth with here to you today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Arj. I love calling the game with you as well. I look forward to doing more in the future. And stay tuned, everybody. We have a TPCHL Tornado Championship title game coming here later this evening. It's going to be the champions, the Boston Bruins, defending against the Washington Capitals. It's going to be Meter and Crafty. You're not going to want to miss that right here on the TPC Sports Network. Before we wrap it up, is there anything else you want to mention there, Irish Bear?
I'm really hoping for a rematch. I want to see these 2 in the playoffs.
Let's hope.
That's going to be my last comment.
All right, sounds good. Let's hope it happens. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We will be back very shortly with the TPCHL Tornado Championship game. We'll see you then. Stay tuned, and good night, everybody.